Hey everybody, welcome back to Jim and Jim's 45. Thought I'd have a Cardinal showcase and a 1967 Topps showcase today. And it just so happens that the 1967 Cardinals were the best Cardinal team in my lifetime. Yeah, I got a little age on me. So let's get to it. This was the lineup that the Cardinals used in every game of the World Series in 1967. Every starting pitcher the Boston Red Sox threw against the Cardinals was right-handed. So that means the Cardinals starting lineup, the first six went left, right, left, right, left, right. The leadoff hitter for the Cardinals, like I said, in all 7 games was Lou Brock. Lou had a phenomenal World Series, had 12 hits, went on the next year to have 13 hits in World Series, even though the Cardinals lost. But here's Lou's card in an 8.5. Second hitter that year in that World Series was Curt Flood. He had a phenomenal season, hit over 330, which was about 90 points better than he did the year before. Right-handed hitter, good speed, 10th all-time on the St. Louis Cardinals as far as wins above replacement. Probably higher than you think, folks. And he hit second. And this one's also in an 8.5. And you just might see Curt and Lou later. If you eat all your vegetables, you'll see them later. Here's Roger Maris. He hit third that year, only had 9 home runs on the regular season, but he was one of those guys that was a left-handed hitter. That's a veteran, has been around the block. Kind of a twist and turn here. The Cardinals finally have an ex-Yankee left-handed veteran hitter that paid dividends for him. The Yankees seem to, especially during the Casey Stengel years, seem to get a lot of mileage out of ex-Cardinal left-handed hitters such as Johnny Hopp, Johnny Mize, and Enos Slaughter. But turned the tables on him this year, and Roger would hit third most of the season and in all 7 games of the World Series. Fourth place hitter was Orlando Cepeda. He was the National League MVP in 1967. He had 25 homers. He hit 325 for an average. And another, first baseman that the Cardinals got a lot of mileage out of that was once a giant. Let's see, Bill White was a giant. In fact, Bill White, I believe, was a New York Giant for a time. Cepeda was a giant. Will Clark, Jack Clark. We've had some good luck with giant first baseman coming over to the Cardinals. Here he is in an 8. Fifth place hitter in the World Series, all 7 games, was Tim McCarver. Tim just passed away the other day. Tim was a major leaguer. In fact, he was a Cardinal at the age of 17. He played 4 different decades and had 2 different stints with the Cardinals. Part of that core, along with Curt Flood, Lou Brock, Mike Shannon, and Julian Javier from the 1964 team that came back in 3 years later to win the World Series again in 1967. Timmy was second that year in the MVP balloting to Orlando Cepeda. Sixth place hitter was Mike Shannon. This is a tough 67 to find, and this one's in an 8 also. You'll notice everything's at least an 8 on this showcase. Mike is from St. Louis. He went to high school in St. Louis. Nearly took some football offers, one from Missouri, one from Notre Dame, but decided baseball was his sport. Hit a home run in the 64 series off of Whitey Ford, and he would bat 6th mainly this in the World Series because every Red Sox starting pitcher was right-handed. Mike and Tim McCarver would sometimes switch around depending on who would start. If the starter was a left-handed pitcher, Mike would bat fifth and Tim would bat sixth. So there's Mike Shannon in an 8. Seventh place hitter is the unsung hero, in my opinion, of the World Series of 1967, Julian Javier. Game 7 pitted Bob Gibson against Gentleman Jim Lonborg of the Red Sox. Bob came back on 3 days rest. Jim came back on 2. The game was sort of in doubt, and Juli hit a 3-run homer to put it out of reach. And then that was basically what won the series for him in Game 7. Juli was part of that 1964 team and part of that core that came back and won the World Series in '67. Also in an 8. Another 8. Dal Maxville. You've heard of personal catchers. Dal Maxville was Bob Gibson's personal shortstop. Maybe unofficially, but that's how it seemed. Dal was light hitting. He went 0 for 22 in the next year's World Series in 1968 against the Tigers. But he could pick it. He could field well. He could turn the double play. And Bob Gibson knew the value of a good fielding shortstop. And here's Dal, a semi-high number of 421 in an 8. He is also, by the way, like Mike Shannon, did not grow up in St. Louis, but he is from the area. He's from Granite City, over in the Granite City, Illinois, over in the what they call now the Metro East area of St. Louis. The 9th place hitter for the Cardinals in Game 1, 4, and 7 was, of course, Bob Gibson. Here he is in an 8.5. I have 3 8.5s on my Cardinal team set here. I looked them over about 2 weeks ago, really looked all 3 of them over, the Gibson, the Flood, and the Brock. And I think the Flood is the best, but this one was a close second. You know, I'm not going to cut them out of the case and send them back to PSA to have them regraded. But this is a nice Bob Gibson 67 Topps specimen in an 8.5. The manager for the Cardinals that year was Red Schoendienst. It's first and only World Series championship with the Cardinals. Let me get him straightened up here. Like I've said before in other videos, Red had a veteran team with a good core that came back from the 1964 team. And basically, he said, here's the lineup, fellas, go get it. And here's Red in another semi-high number, 512, in an 8. Like I said before, you might see Lou Brock and Curt Flood again. Well, here they are. This is one of the things I love about the 67 set. There's a unofficial subset of 12 to 14 cards such as this. It's duo cards. I know the Giants have a card that's called Fence Busters with Willie McCovey and Willie Mays. But these are the Cards Clubbers. This is an easy card to find. It's in the first series. And Lou and Curt were kind enough to pose together for this card. And this specimen is in a 8. One last card in the Cardinal Showcase from 1967. It's the Cards card in an 8. And I figured I could put the starting lineup together without the Schoendienst, without the Cards Clubbers, and without this, but it just seems like it would kind of be a detriment. So, this card was relatively cheap. It's an easy card to find. Here it is in an 8. And let's see, let's just turn it that way. Yeah, sorry about the glare. But there's the Cardinal team card from 1967. think the 1967 top set is the best one they ever made. I know 52, 53, I know, but photography has gotten better in 1967. The red color just pops off the, just pops off the card, pops off the screen, for a matter of fact. And for my money, the 67 Topps issue is the best they ever did. Has a nice, yes, it has a hard, high numbered series to put together of 77 different cards. And it's a bit of a challenge, but people that put this together know what it means to them and where it is on the hierarchy of Topps cards. If I had to, my Mount Rushmore is this set, 52 Topps, 53 Bowman Color, and the T206. That would be my 4 most important sets. So anyway, once again, hope you stay to the end. Hope you're still awake. Click like, hit subscribe, leave a comment, and so long for just a while.